My name is Patricia McGrath, and I'm a member of the Silver Lake History Collective, and I'm interviewing Genelle LeVin with Marco Larson as our cameraman. Today is November 14th, 2015. Name?
My name is Genelle Barbara Levin, and I have lived in Silver Lake since 1978. I was born in San Francisco. My family, including my twin sisters and my grandmother, moved to Los Angeles when I was 6 months old. And at that time, we lived in South Central, right where the Harbor Freeway is at 55th Street. And then our family moved to 45th and Western, Vernon and Western. And I was there till teenage years, and we moved to the Baldwin Hills. Went to Washington High School, George Washington High School, and got my first job shortly after high school, and the company moved, after a couple of years, the company moved me to Fresno, where I lived for a year. I worked for Eli Lilly and Company, their plastic box division, and moved back to Los Angeles in 1970, and moved back with my parents for a short time, and then was out on my own again. And
What were your parents' names?
my mother's name was Faye, and my father's name is George. My father was born in New York and lived in various places across the U.S. and joined the Army at a very young age, before he was really supposed to. I think he was 16 or 17.
Wow.
And my mother was born in Chicago and moved to San Francisco when my sisters were born too. And my parents met in San Francisco and married. And
What did your father do?
my father was a fireman on the Southern Pacific Railroad.
Wow.
When they lived in San Francisco, he was a fireman on the hook and ladder type fireman. And my mother, during World War II, was a butcherette for Safeway stores.
Really?
Yes. And they moved here for my father's health. They thought it would be a healthier environment, and it proved to be, a good move.
And when you came back from Fresno, did you move into Silver Lake? Or?
No, I moved in with my parents, and they were living in Inglewood at the time. And then I moved, close to mid-Wilshire. I lived there for a few years, and I've been in Silver Lake, like I said, since 1978. I lived on Hyperion for 26 years, and for the last 12, 13 years, I have lived on Lucille, just south of Sunset.
Very nice. Did your mom work as a butcherette the whole time you grew up?
No. When we were here, moved to Los Angeles, she was a homemaker for quite a while. And then she had a couple of different jobs, but from the time I was a teenager, she worked for a manufacturer of knitting yarns. And she knitted and crocheted and sewed. Beautiful, beautiful work. And my dad worked for, like I said, the Southern Pacific the whole time that I was growing up here in Los Angeles.
Cool. So you're now the president, and have been, and originally created the Silver Lake Improvement Association, and that was 26 years ago. You had your 25th anniversary last year at the Music Box Steps. Do you want to give us a little history of when 1978 to 1990, was it 90 when you founded the Silver Lake Improvement Association?
Well, I didn't found it.
Okay.
It was founded
Barbara?
by Barbara Dakin, and Robin Dakin. But I became involved I was a community activist before then. I started a neighborhood watch group on Hyperion, and I was involved with the Rampart Division, LAPD, doing community work. And that's how I met Barbara and became involved with Silver Lake Improvement. It was probably the end of the first year that it was organized. And basically it was started to address quality of life issues. There was a lot of drug dealers and a lot of graffiti at the time, and so I joined forces and have been active, very active since then with the neighborhood, with an improvement association. And through the years, we've planted over 300 trees and have had various community activities.
Right.
The first big one that's still going on is the Music Box Steps Day.
Right. Which was 17 years ago, 17, 18?
No, we just had the 21st.
Oh, that's right, the 21st.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
It's been a long time.
That's the 20th.
Yes, and that event was started by Vincent Brooke.
Okay.
He, as a media professor at the college level, teaches media history and that type of thing. And he wanted the children, especially of the neighborhood, within the neighborhood, right around where the Music Box Steps are located, to become aware of the history of the steps and Laurel and Hardy. And that event's grown over the years, and it's joyful. It's a lot of work to put together, but it's really joyful because you've been there a number of times. All you see is smiles on people's faces. And last year was our 25th anniversary and the 20th anniversary of the event, and this year was the 21st. And so we kind of did it up big last year, and we had between 300 and 400 people there.
Right.
Normally we have about 125, 150 people, but we have Laurel and Hardy lookalikes, and we have a magician that's almost more comedy than magic, and we've had various other entertainment.
And you play the actual film of
Right.
Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy.
Yes.
The Music Box Steps is the name of the film,
Right.
Is that the name of the film?
Yes. Oh, the Music Box is the name of the film.
The Music Box.
And it was filmed right across the street from the park where we have the event. And
Several stairs. It's not just one set of stairs. It's like maybe 5 levels of stairs.
I've never walked up them.
I haven't either. But it
130
looks, just from the movie, I can tell there's so many levels.
133 steps, I believe. And it's, we close off the street so that our visitors can walk across the street without having the fear of being hit by cars. And our city councilman has always helped. When it first started, Jackie Goldberg was our city councilwoman at the time, and in the earlier years, she used to show movies to kids in the park.
Right.
And one time they were actually watching the movie, The Music Box, when they realized it was filmed right across the street.
My God.
And so she's very much a contributor from the very beginning, and the Council District 13 has always supported. They provide the tent that we use to show the movie, and the tables and chairs. And
The pizza?
no, they don't provide
They
the
don't
pizza.
provide the pizza, but the Silver Lake Improvement Association does, don't they?
Well,
Or
we
get the volunteer.
We usually get a discounted pizza, and we've had various kinds. We started off with Domino's, and we've used several different other pizzerias. This year it was Z Pizza, and it was really very good,
Yeah.
different. And we usually get donations of,
Raffles too.
oh yeah,
Raffles
our
fantastic.
raffle this year was absolutely incredible. We were running out of time, and but all the way from usually restaurant. There's a lot of restaurants that contribute, and always have. There's a number of restaurants that have done it for almost all the time that we've been doing this, and it's a joyful event because, like I said, you just see everybody smiling, and it's just a really nice event. It's a lot of work, but it's the end result is really very nice.
So when you first started in 1978, your neighbors in your neighborhood were fearful. That was around the time half of El Salvador moved into Silver Lake because of the war, and they had some of the streets, as I recall, blocked off because of some of the neighborhood protests, because of the drug dealing and stuff like that. I remember the police actually, and then they had red-hatted volunteers from the youth groups that would, I don't know, monitor the streets. But it was a real concern, and I remember there was a Silver Lake Residents Association also, and I don't know whether you ever belonged to the Silver Lake Residents Association. But
No, that organization is,
quite a few organizations started around.
well, that Silver Lake Residents Association has been around a lot longer than Silver Lake Improvement Association.
Is it still around?
I think on paper they're still around. I don't know if they have any kind of meetings or gatherings of any kind, but and it was mostly the residents homeowners that lived around the reservoirs.
Oh, okay.
So Silver Lake Improvement Association, we don't have borders. We just, we're all encompassing and welcome anybody that wants to help participate. A number of years ago, we changed our focus. In 2009, we ended up changing our bylaws to make it a little easier for people to become board members and officers, because at that time we had some people that had been on the board for a long time, and we needed to have we needed to open up a little bit, so we did. And since then it's been a lot more active, and we changed our focus. Like I said, now we more or less focus on maintaining the public thoroughfares. We started off on Silver Lake Boulevard at the 101 freeway. We named the program Gateway to Silver Lake 2000 because we were thinking that the project was going to be finished in 2000. It didn't finish for a number of years after that. But since then, there are 7 murals up there that we had competition for the murals, and then we did some landscaping. The street, the median in between, underneath the freeway, there was no greenery there, and there were 3 people from our board and one, Vincent Brook, David Bermudez, and Harry Otto. Harry Otto is an architect, and he designed the landscaping and everything. And then they got some grants to help fund the project, and now it's totally different from what it looked like 20 years ago.
I think in the Silver Lake Garden Club we all helped plant, I think it was rosemary and flax and jacarandas, little baby jacarandas. Trees?
Well,
the 2000? Was that them?
The trees,
They came
they're not
later?
jacarandas, they're yellow trumpets, I think is what they're called. But I know that the garden club was involved,
Yeah.
especially at the beginning.
It was right where the Silver Lake exit to the Hollywood Freeway and where the entrance to the Hollywood Freeway on Silver Lake Boulevard. It's
Yes.
the underpass, and before and after, east and west of the
Yes.
underpass, which is the Gateway 2000.
Yes.
That was a big project.
Yes, and for a long time the city maintained it, but then the city didn't have the money to do it. So we got somebody in the neighborhood, Juan Hidalgo. Not at that time, but Juan started in 2012 was when the weeds were up to 2 feet tall, and it was not a very, very pretty area. And so when we got some money from the neighborhood council, and Silver Lake Neighborhood Council and Rampart Village Neighborhood Council. Rampart Village Neighborhood Council's area starts just south of the freeway, and Silver Lake starts north of the freeway. So we've been getting some money from them on an irregular basis, but then we got some money from Council District 13 in 2013 that helped fund that project and many others in Silver Lake. And in 2012 is when the Sunset Triangle Plaza opened up, and that was a project that was
Or closed up, depending on your point of view.
yes, yes. It was a joint venture with the county public health department. They funded the project to allow. The idea was to kind of close off some streets that were not real pedestrian friendly, and so and make it an area that would be safe for pedestrians to walk and bike and for kids to roller skate and
Right by the fountain, the little fountain that was there before, and right by where the Conquistador used to be.
right.
And between that and the bakery, right?
Right. Well, a little beyond the bakery too.
Okay.
Yeah, by the bakery too. Basically, they closed off Griffith Park Boulevard at Maltman, and on the west side it's Edgecliff. And Silver Lake Improvement Association got involved because the city needed to have a community partner to oversee the maintenance and the events, and that's what SLIA has been doing ever since. And
Was it the Triangle Park or the who put the polka dots in?
well, all of that was done by the Department of Transportation,
Oh, really?
and they're my partner. I work closely with SLIA works closely with the Department of Transportation. They had the plans, and everything was vetted by the city. Everything was, to their specifications, and the background and the polka dots were painted, and umbrellas and tables and chairs were provided too.
Nice.
And it's been a challenge at times, but it's just really rewarding because the first week after the plaza opened, I drove by and there was a young man with his son. His son was probably 6 or 7 years old, and it was like he was teaching him how to ride his bike. And then there was skateboarders and roller skaters, and it was just really gratifying to see young people had a safe place to ride their bikes and skate.
Right, it was immediately being used. The day after you started it,
Definitely.
there were people everywhere.
Definitely.
Not just from the people from the little Triangle Park. There's some of the homeless, that hang around or
Yes.
whatever. But the neighborhood started pouring into this area immediately, and that was in
2012.
2012. So it's been 3 years, and now you've added movies in the summertime every other week.
Well, it started. Silver Lake Picture Show started the first year we were there, and the Silver Lake Improvement Association was their fiscal sponsor for 2 years. This last year they had another sponsor, and basically they show free movies every other week. There's usually 7 or 8 movies that are shown, starting end of June, beginning of July, through September, and that's been very popular. There was one movie where they claimed that there was 700 people there for a very, very popular movie, Princess Bride, I believe.
And you don't charge for any of this. This is all free to the public, including
Right.
the music box steps.
Right.
And I think this is just dues and the help from the city councilman and the city. And the city, Silver Lake Neighborhood Council, maybe?
They have helped, definitely. And
So you're doing this on a shoestring, it seems like, but somehow it just keeps going and getting bigger and greater and warmer, because everybody feels like a community now down there. That's where the farmers market is on Tuesdays and Saturdays.
yes,
So that's an overflow right there.
Right.
And also it's safer because people aren't getting sideswiped as people go through that old street that was there.
we had a couple of accidents early
Were there?
on, but people have gotten used to it and they slow down, and it's just been. I haven't heard anything negative about it. At the beginning, people were complaining because there were 4 parking spaces that were lost, and parking is
Right.
a real issue here in Silver Lake.
And the bakery you can still get into
Yes.
from Sunset,
Right.
which was nice. And now it's not the Conquistador anymore, it's the
El Condor.
El Condor.
Yes.
But the bakery is still there.
Yes, United Bakery is still there.
The bakery.
And then since then, and also Mornings Nights has been open throughout.
Morning nights?
Mornings Nights, it's a cafe that has sandwiches and
Oh, right.
coffee and
Right there.
pastries.
Right next to the bakery.
In between
In
is
between.
now the Pine and Crane,
Oh, okay.
which is Taiwanese noodle cafe,
Right.
and that has become extremely popular too. And then, of course, Yummy.com moved in
Yeah.
on the East End, and that has proven to be very, very successful as well. And the businesses are all very supportive of the Plaza and Silver Lake Improvement Association. So it's all very gratifying.
So it's almost 40 years you've actually lived in Silver, since 78? And when you moved here, the rents were obviously lower. There were fewer people, less traffic. Nobody wanted to come out here. Downtown was completely dead. Nobody ever lived there. And you had neighbors that were having problems with gangs from El Salvador, whatever. And so how does that compute with the next 35 or 40 years? How do you, do you feel that it's been an advantage for it to grow this big and this fast and this, I guess, more expensive? And do you feel it's been an advantage or a disadvantage? How do you feel about it? 'Cause
Well,
you were here when it was small.
Change is sometimes a little unnerving, but I think it's getting better. I mean, there are some issues that they're kind of I don't know how to put this. There are some issues, but in the long run, I think it's all for the better. But we're getting priced out of our own apartments and housing. Some of us are anyway.
So the better would be more community participation, such as the Triangle Polka Dot Plaza.
Yes.
And the music box steps, and many more that you may come up with in the future.
We're open to suggestions.
The sky's the limit.
Yes.
So there is more community. There was no neighborhood council when you got here.
No, the neighborhood council.
It's only been around since what, 2000?
The Silver Lake Neighborhood Council was certified in February 2003. Okay. And that was a process that was 3.5 years in the making, and there were some of our board members that were on that. I was on it at the very end, not at the very beginning, but 3.5 years of organizing, and it's quite intensive. And so the first board was elected in September 2003, and I was asked to run in 2000. I was asked to run at the beginning, but I had my hands full at the time. And in 2004, I did run for my region, which is Region 5, and I served on for 2 years. And then I decided to let other people do that, because I really wanted to concentrate on the Silver Lake Improvement Association, and I was working full time then. I couldn't do everything.
And you were working, actually you helped me figure out, because I was going to run, and I ran in 2006, and I remember I didn't realize you were leaving. I thought you would be there forever. You were my mainstay on what to do, because I was in Region 6 at the time, and I ended up being there from 2006 till 2010. And so when you left to become more involved with the Silver Lake situation, you were working at the Coliseum, or?
Yes,
What was going on?
I worked at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum since 1988. Retired from there in 2008. That was quite an experience, and
20 years.
Just a couple of months under 20 years. Yeah. And it was a real learning experience, because the Coliseum Commission is run on a tripartite agreement between the city, county, and the state. The state owns most of the property, most of the land, but then you've got the county that has the museum, the Natural History Museum, and the state also has the California Science Center, which was not then at the time. It was California Museum of Science and Industry at the time. And they're dealing with people from representatives from the city, county, and the state was really an education.
You really got your feet wet.
Definitely. And it gave me quite an education as far as the workings of the neighborhood council. And so...
Because that was starting just as you were there. You were still at the Coliseum.
Yes, yes. I was working at the Coliseum, and I was involved in Silver Lake Improvement Association, and I
Running
was
for neighborhood.
yes, yes.
I don't know how you do all this. So they had a scandal at the Coliseum, but that was after you left, right?
Just after I left.
Just after you.
Yes, I was a little surprised at some
Yeah.
things that came out.
But it was still kind of an amazing political and economic juggling act with the state and the county and the city,
Yes.
you know, funding it, which has now been bought by USC, right?
USC is operating the Coliseum and the
It's-
sports arena. Yeah.
The land is still owned by the
State,
state,
right.
and so it's a whole different ballgame.
Yes.
But that's kind of where you got your feet wet to work with people and politicians and all of this. So
Yes.
do you ever feel like you don't have to answer this, but do you ever feel like you ever get over peopled or too many people or sick of this? Or I'm not sick.
I'm not sick of it. I try to take everything in stride, and do what I can to help. I don't have a personal agenda. I didn't have it when I was on the neighborhood council, and I don't now. I just want what's best for the community. And there have been times when, I've had to ask for help with, making decisions about things. Of course, that's what this is all about, because I'm not just, I've got a board that backs me and that I can confer with, and that's been very, very helpful. Also, the council office, District 13 has been, I work real closely with the deputies and
Mary
have,
Rodriguez and
yes, Mary Rodriguez and,
Tony. Is it the other one?
pardon me?
I forget the name of the other council person's deputy. But anyway, mostly Mary.
Mostly Mary, yes. And Mary was around when, she used to work for Tom LaBonge,
Right.
and then went to work for Mitchell Farrell when he was elected. So we've got some history there, and Mary's been in the community for a long time. And she was wasn't she originally on the garden club?
She was in our Silver Lake Garden Club.
Right, probably one of the founders.
No, about the middle.
Okay.
But we used to go to, she got the community organized to reconstruct and renovate the Indian at the King Junior High. And we did all the landscaping around, we helped with the landscaping around that area. And so that's what she was working with us with the landscaping. We were over there pulling weeds and planting plants and stuff like that. So she's been a community activist too for a long time.
Oh,
She's
I'm
great.
well aware of that, yes.
She's a big supporter of the Neighborhood
Uh-huh.
Improvement Association. So anything in the future you think maybe better? More people, higher rents, more activities, maybe more creativity or less?
Well,
More traffic.
we're always open to suggestions. There have been there's a couple of ideas that are floating around, and we're always open to suggestions and how to do things a little differently. The last year and a half, I've been involved on behalf of SLIA. There's been a number of filmings at the Polka Dot Plaza, and that has kind of taken off. There's more and more involvement, and so we do get some funding from that.
That's nice.
And we've been asked to be fiscal sponsor for a new organization to us. It's called Contemporary Performance Collective, and they are classical musicians.
Oh.
And they are going to be performing at St. Francis of Assisi in the middle of January. And we're forming a partnership with helping to help fiscally sponsor, because we're a nonprofit and they're not, and they need money to help do their performances. This is the second year that they're going to be performing at St. Francis, and so you know, we're growing in that.
Feelers out there.
Yes.
Plus the Make Music LA with
Yes.
Dorsey
Dujon.
Jean.
Yes, I've been involved with that.
It's been around for a couple of years now.
Well, Make Music LA started this coming June 21st, 2016 will be our 5th year of Make Music LA. And it was started by Dorsey Dujon, and it's it's a pattern after Fête de la Musique in France. It started, I think, 42 years ago. And
Which is the celebration of music on a certain day in the entire country, I think.
well, it started off in Paris.
Just Paris?
It started off in Paris, and it was music, free music, any place that you could find it. And now, June 21st is a national holiday in France. So there's music.
Music holiday.
Yes, and now it's celebrated in over 800 cities, and more than 110 countries all over the world.
In 5 years.
Well, no, that's from
1942. I mean, 42 years ago.
Right. And now Make Music LA is part of an alliance, Make Music Alliance in the United States. And as of 2015, there were 22 cities within the U.S. that were part of that alliance. And that's growing too.
Can you just give a little explanation? In other words, it's the kind of thing where if you email them and you have a little, like let's say you play the flute or you have a little band or you want to sing in a chorus, anywhere in the, city of Los Angeles? County of Los Angeles.
Make Music LA has a website, makemusicla.org, and it's a matchmaking website where if I want to play the drums or I want to sing, I would go online and register as an artist, and somebody like the Hollywood Sunset Free Clinic has participated the last 2 or 3 years. They register as a venue. Or in a park. We have all the city libraries can participate. All the city parks, rec and parks, can participate, and they register as a venue, and they select the type of music they want to have played between certain hours, and then the artist can match up, and they will register. They will say I like to perform at the library. Or at the Bellevue Rec Center, or wherever, and then the two of them get matched up.
So if Marco wanted to play guitar and somebody wanted to sing, they could get together and rehearse a little bit and play at a venue in front of maybe a restaurant, if they signed up as a venue, on a city street, on a sidewalk, somebody's front lawn, anywhere.
Yes.
As long as you sign up.
Right. I mean, that's the best way to do it, because then then you as a spectator can go online and you can see what's playing where in your neighborhood or wherever.
Or if you're a little independent indie band in Silver Lake, you could go to Rambutan and ask them if they could play in front of their place or wherever.
That's true. And for the last 3 years, there's been music at the Polka Dot Plaza. Charles Herman Warfield.
On June 21st?
Yes, June 21st. Charles and Amy Clark have organized that the last 3 years, and it's just been well received. I mean, it doesn't take much to do it. The stage was a blanket. They had 3 different blankets around, and it was just
pretty spontaneous.
It certainly can be. It doesn't need to be elaborate, and that too has been very gratifying because it's just been wonderful.
And anybody can look up on that website in the beginning of June and toward the end, toward 21st, and see which venues they want to go to too. They can go from one to another during the whole day, right?
Exactly.
Downtown LA.
It's basically from 10 or 11 in the morning until the evening, as late as it depends on the venue. Mm-hmm. But there have been some really wonderful events. Not June 21st, 2015, but in 2014, we had saxophones in the Silver Lake Meadow. Oh. And we had ukuleles right across the street from Griffith Park Adult Community Club. And that was really well received too.
That was really fun.
It was fun, yes.
So a lot of people can get involved even if they just are taking a ukulele class at somewhere or just want to join or just
Definitely.
want to watch.
Definitely, and for the last 2 years, the manufacturer of harmonicas, I think it's horn harmonicas, have contributed 100 harmonicas at each event, and they had it, somebody in Santa Monica teaching people how to play the harmonica, and then they left the parks with the harmonica too, and an experience.
I can bring my own. I got one.
Okay.
You got one? I'll get you. So it's very funny. You're actually affiliated with them, but you support them in helping them with
I'm
their
on the
efforts.
board,
You're on the board?
and actually the vice president
Okay.
of Music LA.
So in terms of the Silver Lake Improvement Association, the sky's the limit. Anybody can join. You don't have to be a Silver Lake resident or anything, stakeholder or any of that. It could be Echo Park, Hollywood, West LA, Valley. So if you want to just join the community, now we know how to get a hold of you. Silver Lake Improvement Association.
.org.
Right. Okay, so on that note, do you want to take a pause? Thank you very much.